Okay, so we're going to talk about fractional reserve lending. What does that mean? A couple people talked about this before, but I love the way Mike Maloney put it in one of his videos. I'm going to have the link below. It's episode number 4. Talks about the overview of the U.S. economy. Now, fractional reserve lending, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's where a bank is able to lend out a large fraction of the money that you've deposited into their account. So I'm going to use 10% as a base average. In reality, it's much less than that today in 2023. What happens if you go into the bank and you give them $10,000? For simplicity's sake, right? For 10 grand, they are legally only obligated to hold on to $1,000, and they're able to lend out $9,000 to anyone else that comes into their bank and asks for, let's say, a car loan, RV loan, student loan, boat loan, whatever it might be, home loan. That money gets lended out. Why does your bank account still show that you have $10,000 even though the banks stole $9,000 and lended that money out? Where they're legally allowed to leave IOUs called bank credits. They leave $9,000 in bank credits and they hold $1,000 of the money that you've deposited. I know it kind of sounds insane, but in black and white, this is exactly what the Fed states. Commercial banks create checkbook money whenever they grant a loan, simply by adding a new deposit dollars in accounts on their books in exchange for borrowers' IOUs. That's directly from the banks. Now, this is another way that currency is created. Even though these are just numbers that bankers type into a screen, bank credits are considered currency. Now, this is the crazy part, right? You have your $10,000 that you deposited, $9,000 was lended out, but in reality, because $9,000 is lended out and they put in an additional, $9,000, how much money is now in the system? You have $19,000 that's now in the system. Now, let's say somebody else walks into that bank and they go, hey, look, we need to borrow $9,000 because we want to buy a car or whatever it might be. They take that $9,000 and they go and they purchase an item, right? That's your money. The bank went in and they created these bank notes, these IOUs, and now they purchase an item, that borrower that borrowed, technically speaking, your money. Well, that person that sold them that item takes your $9,000 and they go into the bank and they deposit that $9,000. Well, that $9,000 that they've deposited, what happens? That 10% rule kicks in again, right? Only 10% is actually held by the banks and the remainder of that money gets recycled. So if you rinse and repeat this process 7 to 8 times, you'll see that on a big picture scale, as the money gets cycled through, $1,000 in a vault could actually create up to $10 million within a matter of a month or less as that money gets rinsed and repeat and cycled out and cycled out and cycled out by bank credits or by IOUs that the banks type in order to relend and recycle your money, which is insane, right? So you have the Federal Reserve that really creates money with the US Treasury using big banks as middlemen. And then you have bankers that are relending out your money and also printing money on their end, AKA with these bank notes. And that's how more currency gets pumped into our US economy. And then you think, hey, why is everything more expensive? Why is inflation so high? Why are my grocery bills so high? Why is it that a decade ago we were able to buy a brand new car for $20,000 and now brand new vehicles are upwards of $40,000, $50,000, $60,000? Well, is it really inflation or is it just the devaluation of the US currency?